Okay, you ready for some Mother's Day jokes? Today you're spared. No jokes. The lesson Jeff was looking forward to something like that.
So they come to church.
What's it? All right, I'm going to practice that stand-up comedy. The lesson from the Gospel of John today, out of chapter 17, verses 20 through 26, is a portion of Jesus' prayer. And it fits nicely with our cultural observance of Mother's Day. No, this prayer doesn't contain any stories about famous women in the Bible. There are no recipes in it for how to be a great mom. But instead, this passage focuses on something that we all can celebrate on Mother's Day, and that is two very special words: love, relationship. Mother's Day is an opportunity for us all to give thanks for the special women in our life and for that steady diet of love that we are fed. That may be the experience of love from our birth moms, a stepmother, a grandmother, or a special woman who raised us. There are plenty of those. A special woman who adopted us and deeply loved us and provided us a loving home. That mothering relationship, we know, also extends beyond the women of the world to a father or a grandfather or a man who shares both roles. In today's world, we understand mothering in a very inclusive way. The relationship celebrated in today's reading from the Gospel of John is that special bond or relationship that Jesus shares with his disciples, and the deep relationship that Jesus feels with God, whom he calls Abba, a very personal word used for God, translated from the Greek as Daddy. 5 times within these 6 verses of John 17, 20 through 26, Jesus names love as the key ingredient to these relationships. Love is the bond that links Jesus with God. It is a love that is eternal, as Jesus prays in verse 24, God, you loved me before the foundation of the world. And so you put your name in place of the word me. God loved you before the foundation of the world. Before that spark of life ever came to you, God loved you. Love defines the relationship that Jesus has for his disciples. In verse 23, Jesus says, I am them and you and me, that they may become completely one, so that the world may know that you have sent me and loved them even as you have loved me. It's about unity and interconnectedness. It's about feeling the relationship of God and others in our lives beyond just ourselves. To know ourselves loved and loved by God is an extraordinary gift. And love is the essential gift that Jesus prays that will be the identifying mark of his disciples. Jesus prays in verse 26, the love with which you have loved me may be in them, and I in them. Love. people look at you, they should see love and experience love. Jesus wasn't embarrassed to talk about love. Lots of men are. That's the last thing men are going to be talking about. Who's going to win the game today? Between the teams in the NBA playoffs or on the baseball diamond. We're more comfortable talking with that than we are, those gooey things in life that we relate with love. However, I say that because we may have the wrong idea of love. We may think of love as relating to a romantic notion or a nurturing and caring relationship that, like we receive from our moms and grandmas. But that is not the kind of love Jesus is talking about here. In the Greek New Testament, there are 4 words for love. And here we have the Greek word agape, which means a love that is expressed through sacrifice and self-giving. It's a love that is unconditional, no strings attached. The Greeks used eros to talk about romantic love. Eros isn't used in the Bible at all. They talked about storge and philia, which was more a familial love. Jesus is talking about agape, which is the Greek word used in our New Testament to speak about love 99% of the time. That means sacrifice. A love that is unconditional, no strings attached. I'm going to love you despite what you do to me. I will love you no matter what. There's not a better kind of love than is expressed through agape love. This kind of love was at the center of who Jesus was. For him, love was always the bottom line. Remember the young man who comes up and asks Jesus, what's the greatest commandment? And Jesus says to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. Anything or relationship that was not rooted in an agape kind of love was less than life-giving. In his book, the best-selling author and proponent of a modern, scholarly, and authentic Christianity, John Shelby Spong, who wrote the book, The Fourth Gospel, Tales of a Jewish Mystic. And if you want to understand the Gospel of John, buy the book and read it. It's the best one I've ever read on the Gospel. In that book, Spong writes, unity, the interconnectedness of life and love, brings together God and the human. Again and again, the Gospel of John drives home its point. God is not, church, an external, distant entity. God is not up there and we are down here. God is a life that we enter. God is a love that we share. God is the ground in which we are rooted. The call of Christ is not into a religion. The call of Christ is into a mystical oneness, where God is a part of us and we are a part of God. John's rendition of Jesus' message is not that the essence of life is discovered when one is free to give life away. That love is known in the act of loving, and that the call of human life is to be all that each of us can be, and then to be an agent empowering others to be all that they can be. Church, when we come here, it's not about us. It's about the community. And if I'm not empowering you to be all that you can be, I'm not doing my job. And if you are not empowering each other to be all that you can be and receiving that gift of empowerment and love, we're not doing our job. Any of us. Love is the link between heaven and earth. It's all about love. Love defines the disciple of Christ. Love serves as the most revealing ethic of Christian identity. The most revealing ethic of our identity is love. Love on the playground, love at work, love at school, love in how we're in relationship with others, regardless of what we think of the other. Love is that identifying mark on us. Love characterized the work of Marian Wright Edelman. This lady has spoken 3 times in the General Assemblies that I've attended all of these 35 years in ministry. She is referred to as America's mom because of her work on behalf of children in this country. This African-American girl grew up in the South during the days of segregation, the daughter of a Baptist minister. Her father insisted that young Marian and her 4 siblings take advantage of every opportunity that came their way. Marian worked her way up to being a lawyer in the 1960s. She worked in the civil rights movement, but her main concern was for the many children that she saw living in poverty. She said, "I so love children because children have no voice in government. They have no voice to get the attention of politicians." And so she established the Children's Defense Fund in 1973 to fight for children's rights and child care and after-school programs. So any of the children who took part in after-school programs or child care, you owe something to Marian Edelman Wright. Anna Jarvis was the founder of what we refer to as Mother's Day. Anna Jarvis wanted to pay tribute to her mother, who was also Anna Jarvis. And the young Anna Jarvis was not married. She was not a mom, but she so respected the work that her mother did that she established the idea of the National Mother's Day, which we have come to celebrate today. Anna Jarvis worked hard at improving the horrible sanitary conditions in her community. And in 1858, she organized Mother's Work Days. 1858, this woman organized Mother's Work Days to clean at a time when even doctors and medical professionals didn't accept cleanliness as being responsible for disease and infection. She assisted soldiers on both sides of the Civil War. And after this beautiful woman died, then her daughter Anna began promoting the idea of a National Mother's Day in 1914. Woodrow Wilson signed the first Mother's Day into law. Where God is, there is love. It's all you need to take from this place today. Where God is, there is love. And where there is love, there is always an occasion and an opportunity for you and I to make the world a better place. God so loved the world. We often forget that. God so loved the world before the foundations of the world. And the world is so hungry for love and agape love. Jesus' love has changed the world, and it's still changing it because His love is in us, and we are His hands, His feet, His voice, His eyes, His heart, who are transforming the world. Jesus said, "No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." This is the love that we live by. This is the teaching that inspires us to keep on loving. We offer an invitation for you this morning to think about the work of love in this community and how our church community spreads love by feeding others through our food pantry, through the fun events that we've had raising money for Disciples Mission Fund that reaches ministries all around the world. We invite you to become a part of a community that seeks to think of creative ways that we can show to our community that anything is possible with the gift of love.